Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk to you about motorcycle safety for new riders, in particular sport bikes. It's something I have experience with. I've been riding for the past 7 years, and before I got into the military, I actually used to work at a motorcycle shop selling parts. So I've definitely seen a lot of errors that could have been avoided if riders would have taken the right steps. The first thing is just to make sure that you have the right size bike, and from there you want to have the appropriate riding gear, and the last thing you want to do is make sure that you're riding with the right people. Those are the three that I'm going to talk to you about, and I'll get into why I feel that they're more crucial to rider safety. The first is making sure that you have the right size bike. This is definitely a common mistake. A lot of times people get bikes that are too powerful for them, especially for their riding experience, and I think this is a result of people not doing the appropriate research or not talking to the right people. If you're expecting a dealer to tell you about it, a lot of times, the bigger bike they sell you, the more money that they're going to make. So they might not explain the bike's actual potentials, and that's not very good. The other thing is just peer pressure. A lot of times friends will just try to pressure you into getting that bigger bike, which just leads to bad things. You just want to make sure that you know what your bike's capable of, and you know your capabilities, and that you're making sure that those match up. But after you have the right size bike, next thing you want to do is make sure that you get the appropriate safety gear, helmets, gloves, boots, jackets. All those things are important, but I definitely feel that the two things that you should never ride your bike without are going to be your helmet and your gloves. Helmet, for the obvious reason, it's going to make sure that your skull stays intact, and you'd be surprised how much of a blow that those things can take, and it's just going to make sure that hopefully you're able to walk on from that accident. The other thing is gloves. If you do go down, it's one of those things. The first thing you're going to try to do is catch yourself. So without that extra protection on your hands, it's not going to be very good if you're going at a high speed. But you always want to make sure you have the right appropriate gear, and from there, the last thing you want to do is make sure that you always ride with the right people. If a lot of times new riders will end up riding with a group of experienced riders, and this can actually lead to them pushing themselves to the limit without realizing it. And this could not only is it in the form of stunts like trying to do wheelies, but it could also be just riding at higher speeds, or even riding at night changes up a lot of things, and if you're not ready for it, it'll throw you off. So just make sure that you're with someone who knows your limits and is going to make sure that they keep you safe as you're building your experience. So those are the three topics. I feel that as long as riders are just taking smart steps, it's definitely a great hobby to get into. I'll definitely be riding for many years to come, as long as I'm physically able. But the dangers are always going to be there. You can't always control other drivers or even the elements like rain. But as long as you make sure you have the right size bike, you're wearing the appropriate safety gear, and you're riding with the right people, I think you've taken some pretty good precautions, and you're going to be prepared for future situations. All that's left is just to have fun and be safe.